Hello and welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. And the month of February was pretty rough as we saw most major stocks and indexes finish in the red. And a lot of folks were calling for the market crash in February. And so there was a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt around the markets. And with most plays going down pretty severely, I think now is the best time to invest. As we know historically, when there is blood in the streets, even if it is your own, that is the best time to invest. And these are the times when wealth is transferred from paper hands to those who make the right decision and invest into these rough markets. Hopefully the markets are better in March, and the plays that I'm going to be talking about today, I see having a lot of potential. So I'm going to be talking about my top 3 stocks that I see having the most potential. There's a lot of hype surrounding them right now, and so we're going to be getting all into that, doing a technical and fundamental analysis of all these plays. But before I do that, I want to say, as always, that this is not financial advice, and I always recommend doing your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. So let's hop into it. And the first play that we're going to be talking about today is one that we have talked about a couple times on this channel, and that is BigBear.ai. And so I am very bullish on the Big Bear. And when we look at the long-term trend of BigBear.ai, we are sitting at a major support and resistance level. And so BigBear.ai shot all the way up to $10, which put us at a major resistance level that hadn't been tapped since 2022. And so it kind of started to bring us out of the bear market that the Big Bear has been in. We did see some retraction and some sell-off with the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that the markets were feeling. And now we sit at this major support level for BigBear.ai. And what's really positive about BigBear.ai is that on the short-term trend, we could see that we have been gaining in a bullish pattern on the upside. And so BigBear.ai has been gradually gaining in value. It did become a little overbought with the news of the Department of Defense contract. It started to gain a lot of momentum, a lot of volume, and a lot of eyes on the market. Then again, we did see some fear, uncertainty, and doubt hit the markets. And because of that, there has been a sell-off in the Big Bear. But what is positive is that BigBear.ai is still within this trend. So we see it here. I have a support and a resistance level, and it is maintaining within that support and resistance level. And today we saw a pretty big bounce with the Big Bear. And so Big Bear in the after hours did gain some volume and some price momentum. And this may be because the next big date that we have for BigBear.ai is going to be on March 6th, which is their next earnings call. And so something to note with BigBear.ai is historically their earnings haven't always been great. As we see here, just looking at their earnings expectations history, they did miss a lot of the earnings expectations. And so we saw a lot of earnings miss. But what is positive about the Big Bear is that they did meet those expectations in the last 2 quarters of 2024, the second quarter and the third quarter, because of course next we're going to be seeing the quarter 4 earnings, but they did meet those expectations for quarter 2 and quarter 3. And so the hope is that they will do the same for quarter 4. We also see that their revenue was increasing towards the end of the year. And for BigBear.ai, it's not just about the past and their earnings history that investors are anticipating, but also the guidance that we're going to be seeing going forward. So investors are really hoping that Big Bear has some good guidance, especially with the Department of Defense contract they got recently, which did shoot the stock up. And then also we did see them pick up a new partnership as they're going to be working with a point of sale payment leader, SoftPoint. And so they're going to be using their facial recognition technology there as well. So with Big Bear, they are working in all sorts of different sectors. We see them working with the military, with the Department of Defense contract. And then we also see them at the airports with their facial recognition technology. And now we see them working with another company as well. And there's a lot of thoughts too, just a theory. They could be working in the borders as well. And we know border security is huge. So if BigBear.ai sometime could gain a contract with the border, that would be absolutely massive. And that could really shoot this stock up towards the moon. But that, of course, is just a theory. In general, BigBear.ai is growing and expanding. And again, they have that new Department of Defense contract, the airports, all this. And so the business model for Big Bear is growing. And then also with Don Donald Trump back into office. We know their CEO, Kevin, he was recently put into place as the CEO. So this company is very favorable for future government contracts revolving around AI. So the next stock that we're going to be talking about here is one that I see as very undervalued and very oversold, and that is DJT. Currently, as I record this video, we sit at a major support level for DJT. When I draw this line out, we could see that for the last 5 years, the overall chart for DJT, that this is a pretty major strong support level, and really the only levels down below from here are in the $12 to $13 range. And when we look at the volume in DJT, a lot of the volume has dropped. And so many investors have been very disappointed with what we've seen with DJT. We didn't really get to see the price momentum we were hoping going into the elections and then the inauguration as well. A lot of this was because of the halting and manipulation that happened. And so it did drop the stock DJT. But what I think is positive is that we are still sitting at $24, and a lot of the investors that were around just because of the name DJT have now left this play. And those investors may be leaving because they don't quite understand everything behind DJT. So they may have just been investing into DJT, hoping that there would be a pop going into the elections and into the inauguration. And there was a little bit of a pop. So if somebody was investing for the short term, or more, I should say, trading, they may have caught a nice pop with DJT. But I know a lot of investors have now hopped out of this play and have now faded it out of the impatience that this stock hasn't yet jumped as much as we had hoped. And then also a lot of investors say that this company has some bad fundamentals, and so they don't look the best on a balance sheet. But what I encourage is to look into the future of DJT and not to really think about what is happening with the stock right now, but talking about guidance, have a guidance and a future outlook, because DJT is really looking to change the whole atmosphere when it comes to finance and overall cryptocurrency. We know recently that they did just get approved for their TruthFi wallets with Charles Schwab. And so, like, as we see here on this article, it talks about how the blockchain technology is transforming with the DJT index. And so we know DJT is also looking to create some ETFs revolved all around cryptocurrency and everything like that. And so DJT is really looking to change the overall atmosphere when it comes to finance. And when we talk about cryptocurrency, we know that Bitcoin recently, along with the overall broad market, has seen a little bit of a crash. But this is not that Bitcoin doesn't have intrinsic value, but I think overall that this is just a shakeout in the market. And so I do see Bitcoin recovering with time. And again, Trump is the most pro-crypto president of all time. And so there is a major push for us to go into the mass adoption into cryptocurrency. And so as we see Bitcoin continue to gain in value, and we see Donald Trump and DJT continue to work with those crypto finance, with the crypto finance sector, we should see the both of them rise together. And I think another thing to know with DJT is, while we are so low, this is truly the best time to invest. I'm looking here at the Reddit mentions on DJT. And so if you don't believe in DJT simply as a company, you think that Truth Social isn't a good company, you don't believe in their future crypto innovations, well, a lot of people do think of DJT as a meme stock. And if we're talking about meme stocks, the best time to invest into a meme stock is when it is not being talked about, and the best time to sell is when it is being talked about the most. And so we see Reddit mentions here, and we see it spiked here when the stock price spiked as well. And so now that we have seen, again, a lot of that pre-hype to the election and pre-hype to the inauguration, now that we've seen a lot of that momentum die down, I personally think that this stock is currently undervalued, and I think now is the best time to invest. And when we do a deeper technical analysis on DJT, we could see that it also looks oversold on the MACD, the RSI, and then it is under all the overall trend lines, the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. And this is for the trailing 12 months of DJT. And so again, these are showing oversold territories to me. And then again, when I draw out this line, it looks like we are at a major support level for this stock. And just like Donald Trump told Zelensky the other day at the meeting, we need to be thankful because the markets have dropped and it has given us this fire sale. And so we need to be more thankful and less fearful. And this, again, I think is a great time to invest into DJT. And I have personally been loading up. And so the last stock that we're going to be talking about here today is SoundHound AI. And SoundHound AI has seen a lot of volume in the last year. So SoundHound had a major pop all the way up to the $20 range at the tail end of 2024. We went all the way up to right around $24. And now we have seen a retraction of over 50% from SoundHound. And a lot of this just came from some fear, uncertainty, and doubt that NVIDIA had sold out of their position. And so just from a chart point of view, and if you had just heard that, of course, you would feel some fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But I encourage investors to always look at the back end and the real true company as well. Look at their fundamentals and their balance sheet. SoundHound did just release their earnings the other day. And with their guidance going forward, they increased their outlook from 157 million to 177 million. And something to think about when it comes to intrinsic value, when it comes to SoundHound, is SoundHound did see a lot of momentum go into their stock when they did announce that contract with Torchy's Tacos. So they are working with all the Torchy's Tacos with their AI voice technology. If they do the same with McDonald's, you know, we could really see SoundHound really jump. We know McDonald's last year ditched their old AI drive-through voice technology. They haven't got a new vendor yet for that. And they have talked to SoundHound before. So there is the possibility that SoundHound may be that company. And so those are my top 3 stocks for the month of March. I know a lot of investors are feeling a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and many are calling for the market crash right now. But what I encourage investors to remember is that historically, when times look the worst, so 2008, 2020, during these awful times, the market did have a recovery. And so the market is perpetual and it constantly goes from being overbought to oversold. A lot of the times, many investors start to over leverage themselves, and then the markets take a little bit of a dip. But these are the moments when the rich become richer and the poor become poorer, because the rich will take this opportunity to invest and to add to their plays, to strong plays and convictions, whereas the poor paper hands investors sell out and then have a lot of fear and regret when the stocks do have that recovery. So let's remember that the markets are always a cycle. And then also, I know overall sentiment is pretty bad. We know that when we look at the overall fear and greed index. And so we can see that right now we are in extreme fear. And so if you could just zoom out, have a long time horizon, and look at what is happening in the markets right now as a fire sale, I think now is a really great opportunity to add to a lot of plays. And so these are my top 3 stocks for the month of March. I just recently added to all of them with the major dips that we saw at the tail end of February. I would be curious to hear what you think about these plays, if you're invested in these opportunities or other stocks, indexes. I would just love to hear what you're invested into. So please drop a comment in the section below with all of that. Please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for yet another great month. February was really awesome. That was the most videos we have produced. And so I want to continue that trend going into March and beyond. So everybody who does show support for this channel, I really appreciate all of you guys. So thank you so much and have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Money Talk.